So big. Hi guys, here we are at Pearson Hall, gathered together as the family unit. It's been wonderful. And we're very happy Craig could join us, even though he has a big schlep home. Goodbye.
That's
Good.
right.
Guess what? They're going to kick us out.
Donald has the rule.
It would be less
So what you doing? Right?
Nothing.
Standing back in there, watching all the seats?
Yeah.
Is he sleeping?
Sleeping.
Okay. Is he freezing?
No.
He's protecting the road.
Protecting. I think there were some people that were eyeing our road.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Congratulations, Brian. You did good. Good job. That's your turn.
Yeah, way to go, big boy. That's all I got.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a good thing you made it. Now you gotta work your Raytheon. Woohoo!
She's only been here like a year. She doesn't be outside. She was doing this assistant in Boston. I gave her that sheet by mistake. I don't think they're respecting her at all. It's just on the outside. That's how she got the trials. She's going to be temporarily in
You're hiding Daddy.
Craig, hi.
You gotta say something, Brian.
Look, and he put me in charge. Isn't that nice? What do you have to say, Mom?
Just that Brian, I'm thankful that she graduated. I don't think I could survive any more time and worry.
Yeah,
But it's
probably
good that
not.
you graduated and keep up the good work. Just be a wonderful boy. Oh, I think I'm gonna throw up.
Okay, Mom. I think you're done.
I think I'm done.
I just want Brian to know that we made sure we looked on the list and his name was there.
Oh, yeah, that's what he said. He's all set.
Did Gina have anything to say? She could talk about the accommodation.
I think Grandpa got something to say. We haven't gotten to Gina yet. Hello, Brian. You made it, buddy.
Classic Grandpa reply.
Everybody.
They should do something like that.
Computer and Information Science Convocation of the New Millennium. They say that the new millennium just started this year. And congratulations to all of you who have weathered the weather this year. This has been a bit of a trying graduation, and we're hopeful the convocation will be much better than the shortened graduation ceremony. This is an exciting time for our graduates, for their families, their friends, and also for our faculty as we join to celebrate their completion of their degrees and their start on the next phase of their careers. During the past 30 years, we have seen a tremendous set of achievements, a really remarkable set in the computer and telecommunications fields. And they have affected not only the way we do business, but also our everyday lives, ranging from the watches that we wear to the cell phones that we use to the way in which we get information. It truly has been a computer revelation. And this has been particularly true over the past decade. I don't think anyone anticipated how much the internet and the World Wide Web would impact our lives. Certainly 30 years ago, this would have just been viewed as science fiction. So it's hard to predict what the next 30 years will bring. Certainly it will include changes in technology that we cannot even envision. And it's an exciting time for you, our graduates, to be part of this. You're really going to be embarking on an exciting career. And in many ways, I must admit, I envy you this opportunity. So with me here today to join in our convocation celebration are several of our faculty. Starting at the far side is Professor Chandra Kambamettu. The next to him is Professor Lori Pollack. Next to her is Professor Paul Amer. And then last but certainly not least is Professor John Scoggin. Many of you know, John is with Connective and is also an adjunct faculty member in our department. He is a very integral part of our department, teaches a number of our networking courses, and also works very closely with our undergraduate students. And John is going to present our convocation address today entitled The Changing Nature of Careers in Technology.
And I'd like to reassure everyone that there are no owls on the foils, or keys, or light bulbs. As an experiment, an engineer, a physicist, and a computer scientist were placed in separate rooms with a can of spinach and no can opener. A few days later, the doors were opened one by one. In the first room, the engineer is snoring with a battered, opened, and emptied can. When asked, he explained that when he got hungry, he beat the can to its failure point. In the second room, the physicist is seen mouthing equations with a can popped open beside him. When asked, he explained that when he got hungry, he examined the stress points of the can, applied pressure, and popped. In the third room, the computer scientist is found sweating and mumbling to himself over and over, F open can, semicolon, F open can, semicolon. So, what I'd like to talk about today is a bit of what I believe you can expect in your careers. I've had a rather long and bizarre career, as some of my students know. I started to work here at the university 31 years ago when I was still in high school. I had a part-time job as a systems programmer, working on the borough's mainframes. Finally got out of high school, went to college, majored in chemistry and microbiology, couldn't find a job. Said, well, you know, I know something about computers. So went back into the software end of computing and worked for a number of different governmental agencies and banks and finally landed at the power company as a systems programmer. That was around 1977. Been there ever since. Started the network group there. Had the good fortune of being able to start a phone company from the ground up, and then wound up back in the power company again. So you never know what's going to happen. There's certainly been a fair amount of change in the past 31 years since I started this journey. And just to give you an idea, particularly those of you in the audience who did not have need for computer architecture, we have a law, or at least so far it's been a law, called Moore's Law. And Moore's Law says that the density or the number of transistors that we can get onto a chip will double about every 18 months. And this, to a large degree, has had a good part of the responsibility toward the explosion in the ability to deliver computer systems at very low cost. So to give you an idea of what kind of changes we've seen since 1980, the mainframes I worked on had a clock rate, or were able to process instructions at about 750,000 instructions per second. Right? Today, you buy a desktop off the shelf with 1,300 million instructions per second, and climbing. Right? Memory. Memory's always fun. There's lots of with me. No computer leaves my premises without me ripping parts out of it. So here's 32,000 characters of information, circa 1980. Here's 500 million characters of information, circa last week. Memory's not the only thing that's gotten better. 2.5 million characters of storage, circa 1980. I ripped this out of my PC this morning. 30 billion characters of storage, circa last week. Well, since I'm a networks person, I couldn't let the network revolution escape. The first modem I worked on when I worked for the government was a little larger than this. It would do 300 bits per second, and it was 7 feet tall. But this is 20 years old. It's 4,800 bits per second. Imagine your internet connection today at 4,800. I grabbed this. Hopefully nobody will miss it. This is an optical modem that does 1 billion bits of information per second, right, in this little bag. So that's 20 years of progress. Do you have this kind of progress to look forward to in your careers going forth the next 20 years? And that's an open question. The Semiconductor Industry Association estimates that we're going to see clock rates double or triple by the year 2006. The number of devices per chip will rise up to probably around 200 million devices per chip, and we'll get 10 to 20 billion instructions per second out of that processor. And they expect that that's the point at which the semiconductor technology that we've been living with for the last 20 years is going to stop. Right? We're starting to reach physical limits. So what's the solution? Well, that's your project. I'm hoping to be getting close to retirement around then, with any luck. So it's going to be for you to work out whether that next generation of technology beyond CMOS is a wet chip using DNA, or maybe you go to quantum devices. And quantum looks very, very promising. They've already got some simple circuits working at 750 billion changes per second. Right? So it's fairly promising for first generation. Of course, all the progress has not been over on the hardware side of things. the applications have certainly changed. You're rather limited. 20 years ago, when you had less than 1 million instructions per second available, you're rather limited in what kind of problems you can tackle reasonably. But over the last 20 years, we've moved on to challenging a lot of the grand challenge problems, such as weather prediction, turbulent fluid flow, and a lot of other interesting things. But there's a lot more yet to be done. If you've gone to any of our bioinformatics seminars, you've heard some rather exciting challenges that lie ahead in that arena. The social scientists have been talking about finally perhaps having enough processing power and enough storage to be able to start to look at some social problems. So there's a lot to be done yet in the field of the job is done on the scale of perhaps every 3 to 5 years. And I've seen this in my own career the last 10 years, that about every 3 to 5 years somebody does something that causes a rather radical career change for me. I expect to see that accelerate. And so what I believe people are going to begin to look at careers as is as a pathway. And along the pathway is going to be composed of some major projects. I think people are going to start feeling a bit more entrepreneurship in their careers, of looking for opportunities for short to medium term projects to work on that are exciting to them, and picking up education along the way to support that effort. If we're going to make this tremendous technology change 5 to 10 years from now, it's very doubtful that what you've learned here in terms of specialized knowledge is going to be of tremendous use. Right? You're going to have to go back, you're going to have to re-educate probably every 3 to 5 years, or you're going to have to do as I do, and that's continuously re-educate. Right? Every day I take at least an hour, sometimes more, and study something that I think is interesting and may lead to perhaps my next 3 to 5 year window of opportunity from today. So I believe that that is going to be the norm, particularly if you choose a technology career. What makes that even more interesting and more of a challenge is the fact that people are living longer today. They're physically productive longer today. We don't see that changing. And in fact, if you look at the way people that are planning things like Social Securities and pension, they're not planning on you retiring at 55 or 62, right? They're expecting that you're going to work at some level up through the 60s at least. And so your career, instead of looking at it as a 40-year career, maybe a 50 or even 55 or 60-year career. So you're going to have the opportunity to see a lot of these 3 to 5 year cycles. The idea that education and work are separate, I think, is another concept which is going to be leaving us very shortly in the technology area. If you look at what was hot 5 years ago, or even 4 years ago for the undergraduates that are graduating, think back to what you saw in the employment ads, right? You've all been looking at employment ads lately. Right? What kind of skills are they looking for? Well, they're all looking for 5 years of experience in an area that's only been around for 3. Right? They're all looking for Java and C++ and XML and UML and all these other technologies that did not exist 3 to 5 years ago when you came into school. Right? What was hot 3 to 5 years ago was small talk, C. There's been quite a bit of turnover, even during your short, relatively short undergraduate careers. I see that accelerating. Right? So the concept of education and work being separate things, I think, is going to be constraining on getting involved in new technology areas. And there are going to be a lot of stages between full-time work and full retirement. And you can see that more and more. People, rather than retiring to the home in Florida, they retire to some part-time consulting career, or perhaps working for some nonprofits toward the end of their working career. So what are the basic skills that you need to take from this institution? I'll say three things. And some of them are probably the things that computer science students like the least. Written and oral communications, I put number one on my list. I know it's painful, but the real world, you're going to find that your progression in your career is going to be, to a large degree, determined by how well you communicate what you know. Of course, your mathematics and computational skills are always going to be a large factor in this particular career field. And those things are going to be much more valuable than the short-term vocational type things that you see a lot of people doing. And I'll give you an example. How many of you have started looking at the various Microsoft and Cisco certifications? Right? Fair number. If you think back about 4 years to when you came into the bachelor's program, the hot thing was being a certified Novell engineer. Haven't seen many ads for them lately. If you look at those Microsoft and all those other industry certifications, you'll find that they have a lifetime, even according to the people who give them, of about 2 years. That kind of tells you a lot about the way your career is going to be. Right? You're going to be re-educating in major areas every couple of years. It's a fact of life. I think the most important thing that you need to do going forth is two things. One is develop your learning skills. Learn to learn on your own. You have to learn to set aside time to keep current. And the second thing is to always keep your eyes open for opportunity. Occasionally things will come along that perhaps don't fulfill your short-term view of yourself and of your career that just might have a major impact on you. 20 years ago, I was a systems programmer on mainframes, and mainframe system programmers in 1980 were a very hot commodity. We commanded more money quite often than our managers. Nobody exactly knew what we did. We would somehow keep those big iron things running. And I had a supervisor come up to me and say, "We're starting a network area, and you're the only one here that seems to know which end of the screwdriver to use. So would you be interested in starting a network area?" And I'm thinking, well, gee, I'm making a ton of money being a systems programmer. Do I really want to go off on this other field? But it sounded kind of interesting, and it was something at the time very few people were doing. So off I went. It turned out to be a pretty decent career move. Last week I watched our last mainframe system programmer get laid off. So I think I made the right decision 20 years ago. It certainly wasn't what I had in mind when I started on this path. And I'd say one last thing, I'd like to thank the students that are in this audience that I've had the privilege of working with and learning with. The students in these classes are what keep things interesting and keep things challenging. There's nothing worse than having a student come up to you and ask you a question you can't answer. So I thank you for your attention and for your hard work, and best of luck to you on your long careers.
Present our graduates, I would first of all like to introduce several of our students and faculty who have received awards this year. They were presented on Honors Day, but I'd like for you to be aware of the awards that they have received. And in many cases, this represents not only recognition within the university, but also recognition nationally. So the first person, I'd like to ask each person to stand up as they are introduced. The first person is Paul Amer. Paul received Professor Lori Pollock. Lori received the University-wide Excellence in Teaching Award for her contributions to education of our students both in the classroom and in individual mentoring of student projects. This is a university-wide award that only goes to 4 people at the university each year. Another faculty member who is not here today. She's on a well-deserved vacation celebrating her 20th wedding anniversary. This is Professor Kathy McCoy, who received the university-wide Excellence in Advising Award in recognition of her efforts in undergraduate student advising. So, and John Scoggin, who is with us today. Was given our department's award as Outstanding Supplemental Faculty in recognition of all of the contributions that he makes to our educational program and curriculum. The Computing Research Association is a consortium of about 180 universities throughout the United States and Canada. And each year they give an award to the outstanding undergraduate female student in computer science and the outstanding undergraduate male in computer science. And if you read through the list of recipients and those who receive honorable mention, it reads like the who's who of universities throughout the country. We're very proud this year that Litza Stark, I saw Litza would stand up. Runner-up for the Outstanding Computer Science Female, and Matt Hunerfauth. Where is Matt? Matt received honorable mention for the Outstanding Male. And there were only about 10 students who received honorable mention on each side. So this is quite an achievement for our undergraduates. In addition, Matt, you get to stand up again. Matt was selected for the panel of distinguished seniors. This is one student from each college who is particularly recognized for academic achievement. So congratulations. Again, received our department's award given by Quantum Leap Innovations as the outstanding seniors in computer science this year. I don't know if I saw Chris. Yes, there you are. All right, Chris Haas received the Hatem Khalil Memorial Award for Outstanding Achievement in Software Engineering. Julie Johnson. Stephen Gerasimos Memorial Award for Aptitude and Achievement in Computer Science. And Lynn Zhu, I don't think Lynn is here. Ah, yes. Lynn Zhu received the Frank Pearson Graduate Student Achievement Award for Outstanding Achievement as a graduate student in computer science. So next we will have the presentation of our students. First we are going to present our PhD students. Most of these students actually completed their degrees earlier this year and received their degrees in the January ceremonies. But Professor Amer is going to present each of them and just say a few words about them.
Thank you, Sandy. First, I offer my personal congratulations to the graduating students. And I also offer you all a very personal, sincere thanks. You may think it's thanks for being in my classes and making them interesting. Well, I thank you for that, but that's not what I'm really sincerely thankful for. What I'm really thankful for is that about 20 minutes ago, Sandy was introducing us. When she mentioned Chandra, everyone clapped loudly. When she mentioned Lori, everyone clapped loudly. And I was desperately nervous the room was going to be dead silent when she said my name. I sincerely thank you for clapping. This year, we're honored to have graduated 5 PhDs in computer science. As Sandy mentioned, most of them, 4 of the 5, actually went to January's commencement, but I want to tell you about them. Phil Conrad, who was my student, wrote a dissertation called Partial Order and Partial Reliability Transport Service in Multimedia. He is currently an assistant professor at Temple University. John Graham received his PhD from his advisor, Dr. Keith Decker. John's dissertation was Real-Time Scheduling in Distributed Multi-Agent Systems. John is an assistant professor now at Coastal Carolina University in South Carolina. Xiaopeng Ma received her degree under the advising of Dr. Errol Lloyd. It was titled Broadcast Scheduling in Multi-Hop Packet Radio Networks. And she is currently working at Lucent Technologies in New Jersey. Ken Samuel received his doctorate under the joint advising of Dr. Carberry and Dr. Vijay Shankar. His dissertation was Discourse Learning, an investigation of dialogue act tagging using transformation-based learning. He's currently with the MITRE Corporation in Washington, D.C. We have one student, Lynn, if you would stand up, Lynn Zhou, who is graduating under the advising of Chandra, here on the Bima. And Lynn's dissertation is Structure and Non-Rigid Motion Analysis for Two-Dimensional Design. And he is working with a company in Wilmington called Insured Mail, doing secured email services. So I offer my congratulations to Lynn. So Lynn, would you please also come up and... I have the easy task of only reading one name. My colleague, Professor Pollack, has the difficult task of doing everybody's name. So, what we do at this occasion is ask each student to provide us with some remarks that they'd like said on their behalf, tell you a little bit about them. As I've just mentioned, Lynn has finished his PhD. He won 2 awards. In the year 2000, he won the Quantum Leap Innovations Graduate Student Excellence Award. And this year, he won the Outstanding Graduate Student Award, is the Frank Pearson Graduate Student Award. His after-graduation plans, he is currently a chief cryptographer and director of instructional technology or information technology? Informational technology with Insured Mail. He would like to thank his advisor, Dr. Chandra Kambed-Muthu. Also, he would like to dedicate this honor to his wife and his family who have always been supportive for him. Thank you, Lynn.
So next, Dr. Chandra Kambed-Muthu will introduce our master's students.
I'm going to present the master students from our department. Sundaram Rajagopalan, let me congratulate you first. A big thanks from him to the family and the great teachers at CIS. Many thanks to Frank, Pat, Vicky. Without you, it wouldn't have been, this task wouldn't have been so easy. Cheers to everyone, that's what Sundaram says. The next graduate is Prabir Yadav. His after graduation plans is to visit his parents and come back and continue. He says job, but I see a PhD here. Job with MBNA. The next graduate is Matthew Paul Hennerford. His plans are to continue his study in speech synthesis at the University College Dublin as a Mitchell scholar. He'll be working at MIT's Media Lab, Europe, and will travel Europe during the year. This summer, he'll work as an intern at the Natural Language Group of Microsoft. His comments include that he enjoyed being in our department. The next graduate is Hongru Kui. Her plans are to find job in software engineering area. She would like to apply technologies learned from the university into the real world. Her comments are that she's very proud of herself. We're all proud of you also. And she would like to thank her husband for supporting through the studies. Thank you very much. That finishes our master students graduates.
Next, Professor Lori Pollack will introduce our bachelor's degree candidates.
Alan will be moving to Austin, Texas to spend his time relaxing with his friends. Alan would like to thank his family for supporting him through this long stint here at the university. Frederick Joseph Shields, graduating with a Bachelor of Science and a minor in Management Information Systems. Frederick is on the Dean's List, a member of Mu Iota Sigma, the MIS Honors Society, an MBNA Delaware Scholar, and president of the university's chapter of the Association for Computing Machinery. Fred's plans include spending several years gaining valuable experience needed to pursue his MBA. Fred would like to thank everyone who has helped him succeed in his college career. He would especially like to thank his mother and father, whose loving moral and financial support have made it possible to, financial is in quotes, made it possible to participate in and enjoy such experiences. Alicia Connor Kempf, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts degree, a member of the Golden Key Honors Society, the Dean's List, and a member of the University Honors Program. Alicia plans to work in the Philadelphia area next year. Congratulations. Lisa Stark, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts degree, also an honors degree, and a double major with Spanish linguistics. She's graduating with an honors degree with distinction. Her after graduation plans are traveling to Mexico, moving to Boston, and looking for work at a nonprofit organization. Thanks especially to Dr. McCoy and my family. Congratulations. Matt's back here again. The shortest undergraduate career. Oh, that's true. It's the shortest graduate career here at the university. He's graduating with both a bachelor's and a master's degree today. Brian Anthony Van Neuwenhoven, graduating with a Bachelor of Science and a minor in Management Information Systems. He's on the Dean's List and a member of the Association for Computing Machinery Society. His after graduation plans are reformatting his hard drive. I dedicate my diploma to my mother and father. Without their help, I would only have an MSCE certification. The dancers up here. Brian Lee Feathers, graduating with a Bachelor of Science and a minor in Mathematics. His after graduation plans are working for Booz Allen and Hamilton in Washington, D.C. His work detail is, I believe it. His work detail is modeling and simulation for the National Security Technology Group. Thanks to the parents for unending support through all the years. The tassel is just a test. It's the last test. Brian David Gusso, graduating with a Bachelor of Science. After graduation plans are taking 2 months off and then starting work at Raytheon as a software engineer. Thanks to Mom, Dad, and Amy for everything. Ryan Lawrence McDonald, graduating with a Bachelor of Science. His after graduation plans are working for Marasco Newton Group in Arlington, Virginia. Thanks to my family for all their support. Christopher John Kudlick, graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree. After graduation plans are getting a job. Thanks to Mom, Dad, Teresa, and everyone else. Kenneth E. Tice, Jr., graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree, cum laude candidate. After graduation plans, is it all of these or or? And or? Going scuba diving in Florida, finding a job, and attending graduate school at University of Delaware. Thank you, everyone. Scoggin is the man. And thanks, Mom and Dad. Albert Clementi, graduating with the Bachelor of Science.
Thank you.
Bachelor of Science with a minor in Management Information Systems. Scholastic Grant and Scholarships, a Dean List, 1970, that's when I graduated, 97, 99, and 2001, member of Mu Iota Sigma. His after graduation plans are to earn a master's degree part-time and work his way up to executive management of a corporation and/or start his own consulting business. I could not think of anything eloquent to say other than I will miss you all and no longer have to grade exams for Professor Scoggin. Julie Johnson, graduating with a Bachelor of Science and minor in Math and Physics, the winner of the Stephen Gerasmos Memorial Award this year, and a freshman honors certificate. After graduation plans are a graduate school here at University of Delaware for computer science starting in the fall, and an internship at Quantum Leap Innovations this summer. Thanks to my family and my friends for their support. Nicholas Adam Leamy, graduating with a Bachelor of Science, a concentration in Computation and Logic of the Mind, and a minor in Philosophy. Thanks to my friends and family who made this all worthwhile. Best 5 years of my life. Janelle Wynn Green, graduating with a Bachelor of Science and a minor in Art. After graduation plans are finding a job and playing in the mountains. Thank you to all of my parents, all four of my parents for being great, loving, and supportive. Thanks to all my friends for being wonderful. Trust me, everything's going to be all right. You met me at a very strange time in my life. John E. Roberts, graduating with a Bachelor of Science and a double major in Procrastination and Apathy Engineering. After graduation plans, move to Africa, take over Chad, rename it John. Find the jade monkey before the next full moon and maybe graduate school. That just ended with maybe graduate school. I would like to thank the CIS faculty, especially John and Chandra. I also want to thank my friends and family. I could take this opportunity to make some bold political statement, but instead I leave you with the pearl of wisdom. Math? Okay. MBH, okay. I'm glad I don't have to follow you. Christopher Ryan Utenrider, who I know more as Udi, graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree. Graduating a year early. Treasurer for the Association for Computing Machinery. After graduation plans, pulling my hair out, it's very hard to read, software engineering. But now for money. Thanks to my family and Tech House. Without their support, I'd be getting my degree in English. Matt Spillick, graduating with a Bachelor of Science. After graduation plans, he's actually already finished. He's doing data warehousing and OLAP design for QVC. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Christian Blair Craven, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts degree. After graduation plans, getting married and finding a job. That's good they go together. Thank you, Mom, Libby, and Nina for all your support. Jill Erin Janowski, graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree. She's a member of the Golden Key National Honor Society, the National Society of Collegiate Scholars, Upsilon Pi Epsilon Computer Science National Honor Society, and a Science and Engineering Undergraduate Research Award. After graduation plans include taking the summer off to relax and working for Accenture in New York City as a technical analyst. Thanks to Mom and Dad, also thanks to those few guys who helped me through these past 4 years. Carl John Valentine IV, graduating with a Bachelor of Science and a minor in mathematics. He's a member of the Golden Key Honor Society and the Dean's List. After graduation plans, start a career in consulting with American Management Systems.
Yay!
Harris Michael J., graduating with a Bachelor of Science and a minor in Management Information Systems. Member of the Upsilon Pi Epsilon Computer Science Honor Society, Mu Iota Sigma MIS Honor Society, the Golden Key National Honor Society, the Mortarboard National Honor Society, and the National Society of Collegiate Scholars. Oh wow, this sounds wonderful. Harris will be backpacking across Europe for a month with friends before starting to work at Accenture, the company formerly known as Anderson Consulting. 4 years ago, Harris came to this university with goals and dreams. His friends and family's encouragement, help, love, and support has helped him to reach these goals while realizing all of his dreams. In addition, Harris wants to thank Marla for all of her love and for being his strength each and every day. George Joseph Kirk, graduating with a Bachelor of Science and a minor in Japanese. A member of the Dean's List, the McNair Scholar and University Merit Scholar. After graduation, he's going to Japan for a while. I'd like to thank my parents for always being there and Dr. Chandra for giving me a chance. James Patrick Fitzgerald, graduating with a Bachelor of Science. His after graduation plans are finding employment in the New York City area. He would like to thank his friends and family for their support. Mark W. Thomas, graduated with a Bachelor of Science. After graduation plans, he's looking for a job. I'd like to thank my family for the emotional and financial support. Shawanda Dwan Jones, graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree and a minor in Management Information Systems, also receiving a Certificate of Business Fundamentals. Shawanda has accepted a position with J.P. Morgan Chase in its Internal Consulting Services program. She hopes that this step in her life will help her grow and open many opportunities in the future. Shawanda would like to thank her family and friends for all their love and support over the years. Leah Nikisha Hall, graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree. After graduation plans, she's attending the University of Delaware's MBA program while interning as a corporate associate with Cecil County, Maryland's Division of Social Services. Leah wishes to thank her family for their continued support and encouragement. Nicole Wedderburn, graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree. Nicole plans on taking the summer off to explore the wonders of photography with her new digital camera. She will also continue her job search and start preparing for graduate school. Nicole would like to thank her mother for seeing her through these 4 years and for the great camera. Marlon D. Palmer, graduating with a Bachelor of Science and a minor in mathematics. After graduation, Marlon will take some time off before entering the workforce. Marlon would like to thank his advisors, Sandra Carberry. Marlon would like to thank his family and friends for their support, and most importantly, Marlon would like to thank his mother. Matthew James Kirk, graduating with a Bachelor of Science, concentration in software engineering.
And I'd like to ask that everyone remain seated until the graduates have exited the auditorium.
Where's the beer?
Where's the beer?
Where's the beer? Come on, Craig. Where's the beer, Craig?
I got it hidden, man.
All right, cool. I'm waiting. I got it under here. I like to Yo, man, eat it.
Only you would wear that hat.
Now you gotta wait for Grandma.
How'd you skip out of here early?
Yeah, I was smart.
Just hopped out?
Yeah.
All right, where's Nick and Don?